Hello, greetings. How are you all doing? Blessings to each of you. We are in the area of Yerushalayim, on the outskirts of Yerushalayim. What are the outskirts of Yerushalayim? 100 meters? 100 meters from the outskirts of the old city of Yerushalayim, more than anything. And with these short videos, we're showing you the evidence from the scriptures and the actual locations where things happened. Here behind us, there are remains here that are no longer used in these places today. At least this part is not used, but what is behind it is still in use. For instance, this item Let's show it. We are told that it was the tomb of the sons of Hetzi, and it is a monument of Zacharias. That's what we have written according to Archaeology. We also see another structure there with everything inside the rock. If we come from here, now it's not really late, we still have daylight. But when the sun sets here, it gets really dark. Not just really dark in the winter here. It's really cold. There's a strong breeze in this place, and there are definitely no people here. I mean, it's not a place with a pedestrian walkway, a mall. It's not a place where everyone wants to come and walk around either. Even the most romantic lovers wouldn't bring their girlfriend here. Because it's also a cemetery.
Yes, of course, it's Ulay. Some people use it as a shortcut to take a quicker route.
Exactly, but in reality, it's a cemetery, and cemeteries, whether you like it or not, are not pleasant places where everyone always wants to be. You don't want to stay too long in cemeteries. In fact, people only stay for a while, but that's it, nothing more. We're going to go in here to see what we find. It's daylight, so let's go in and see what we find. So, you up for checking out what's inside those antiques? Come on, you go first. Let's go in.
Do you remember from the previous episode, from the last video? About the evidence we talked about a word that had to do with the tomb that we couldn't remember. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember, of course. We debated the meaning and definition of a particular word.
That word, it's glorious. Gluskemaut, which would be ossuary. Yes, it's like a little box, a burial place.
Ossuaries, the famous ossuaries, exactly. Where we are. Well, do you want to go in this way? Come on. Don't be afraid. Look at what we found here. Well, these are fences. And here are more graves. Look, we kept going. Here too. For those who don't know, the Jewish people don't usually bring flowers to the cemetery. Instead, they put rocks on top of the graves.
Even if there are people who couldn't be there on the day of the burial, when they come to visit later, what they do is put a small stone on top.
As we saw there.
As a sign that they also accompanied that.
Why return to Earth? Because that's the actual meaning, isn't it? What was of dust? You are dust, and to dust you shall return. Exactly then. That's why a rock is placed over on top of the grave of the people. We're going to stay here, entering this place. Also, another topic.
That you saw that the tombs are all square and flat. In general, because they don't make statues or this. They don't put anything. Like, how do you say that? What you put on the grave with the name on top, like that cover in the back again, no?
Again, we'll tell you in the next video. So they don't do that. They don't make
any. The sculpture that's on the tomb.
Like a mosaic. I don't know what it's called in Spanish. But this one
Part over here that
has
you don't do all of that this way.
flat by.
The thing is that no sculptures will be made.
Exactly. Okay, Actually, if you had the image that we have now, we're going to show it. It would look like we're in a Roman house. The shape causes it to go here, for example. Let's suppose we were from the family of, I don't know, Herod. Then this could be one of Herod's smallest rooms, right? With a balcony like this, we would go out and find the whole town down there. But of course, we're just imagining this, because in reality, it has nothing to do with the Romans. This is a tomb.
Exactly. I mean, from that time, they copied this, but it's not...
That it was a room. This column maybe, or this part out here, is a design from the time of the Second Temple, but it wasn't a Roman house. No. What I mean is that it was a tomb. It was always a tomb, and here we're going to enter the tomb. You might say, but how are you going to enter? We priests aren't supposed to step on the dead or where there are dead people, right? But anyway, you know that what we want to do is show you the places of the Bible. And let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, there. Let's go. Look. I go in. There's a smell. There's a bad smell in here. There's no body. You want to be calm, but this is a tomb. Notice that, as we said before, if ossuaries were supposed to be placed, then the ossuaries were placed in these small ones. But first, the body was placed, and the body was wrapped like in some cloths, like a mummy. Were these little doors closed, or was the main big door closed? And this is what a family tomb is. When the body decomposed inside, they would place the ossuaries during the time of ossuaries. This did not occur before the ossuary period. Before the ossuaries, what happened was that the body would just stay there and disappear in the time of Jesus. We have the story in the New Testament that tells us when they buried Jesus, they were afraid that someone would come and steal the body. To say that he had risen, what did they do? They placed that big rock at the entrance, and the soldiers at the double. Look here. There's also another tomb here. This place is really big, the Cave of the Law, plus there we found 3 little tomb caves. Look at how the ceiling looks. This is all worked, everything is worked. We are inside the rock. It's
carved into the...
stone.
Alive, so to speak.
And notice that what we have here is the entrance. Why? Because those who accompanied the body, what they did was stay inside. When they performed the purification rituals, also afterwards, and they accompanied the body all the way to the front. Let's see, here we have another one, then. If you see a cave with 3 caves inside, here there are between... And here there are quite a few. Here there are quite a few of these as well. Well, family, do you think this is a creepy video? Yes, or...
I mean, what does this have to do with anything?
What creepy video? Why did they put us in tombs today? Why did we go visit tombs? Why? Because that's exactly where we're going, to the Mount of Olives. We're at the foot of the Mount of Olives. And what if we said that we are seeing the evidence of the scriptures? Many times people wonder, or many of us ask ourselves, where were the scriptures written? Or where were the scriptures inspired? Or where was the psalmist inspired to write, for example, the writings of the psalmist? And we have one of the Psalms, chapter 23. Can you read it? Listen carefully to what we're about to read.
I believe Psalm 23 is widely known by most people. It's a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
But your rod and your
Staff, they comfort me.
up to there. Because, actually, that's the verse we want to highlight and focus on. Even though I walk through the valley of shadows and death, I will fear no evil.
For you are with me.
King David, when he was writing this psalm, he was visualizing the valley in which we find ourselves now. This was known as the Valley of the Kings, also known as the Valley of Jehoshaphat. We said that in this valley is the oldest cemetery of the Jewish people on the face of the earth. In King David's time, 3,000 years ago, tombs existed here, just like this. And just as we enter these caves today, if we keep walking around here, we'll find that this is how it was in ancient times. One cave, another cave, another cave, another cave. Today, what we find are the tombs that can be seen from above when you see the hill of olives. You'll see it's all cement, cement, cement. Where are the olive trees? It's because it's all tombs. There are more than 5,000 tombs. And there's much more space to keep burying people in this place. So what was he referring to? Even though I walk through the valley of shadows and death, Uno Vale, we're talking about the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. This was the physical space of shadow and death, a cemetery, meaning death represented the shadow, the darkness. But here's the key phrase. He said, I will not fear because I know that. I will trust in you, and your rod and your staff will comfort me, says King David. So what we did today was good, but it was kind of unpleasant to be there for us who are really here, breathing. That thing was pretty bad. But we know that when King David wrote what he wrote, he understood what he was writing. Because he was in the physical position, from a dark place, from an ugly place, from a place of death. The place reeked of death, and a place of darkness. So just to remind ourselves and to remind you all, even though we are here today, and even if everything around us is death, is shadow, is darkness, is
Unresolved problems, things
that don't rise up, things that don't come to life, there is no life. Even though I walk through the valley of shadows and death, I will fear no evil because I know you will be with me, family. Blessings, shalom from Israel, once again, in these little short clips of evidence from the places in the Bible where things happened. Bye-bye, blessings.